So the AI race is just getting hilarious. The biggest disruptor and competitor to China is China itself. It's something we have been saying for a long time. Competition within Chinese companies is just so fierce, it won't be long before DeepSeek gets disrupted. And the latest breakthrough isn't from Silicon Valley but from Beijing. The second Sputnik moment is from China, and it's truly a game changer here.
Hi, I'm Pete from Manus AI. For the past year, we've been quietly building what we believe is the next evolution in AI. And today, we're launching an early preview of Manus, the first general AI agent. This isn't just another chatbot or workflow. It's a truly autonomous agent that bridges the gap between conception and execution. While other AI stops at generating ideas, Manus delivers results. We see it as the next paradigm of human-machine collaboration, and potentially a glimpse into AGI.
DeepSeek is basically a new and improved and cheaper model than ChatGPT, but Manus AI is an artificial intelligence agent that essentially doubles up as your employee. You just need to define the task what you want and the end goal that you want. Just like a human, it will reason the next steps ahead and really handle them by itself. It's frightening and really shows us the level of progress Chinese companies are making within months.
In this example, we have Manus conduct some research. It needs to filter New York properties based on multiple criteria. For complex tasks, Manus first breaks them down and creates a to-do list. Manus begins by searching and carefully reading articles about the safest neighborhoods. Then Manus researches middle schools in New York. Next, Manus writes a Python program to calculate my budget. Based on my budget, Manus filters listings on real estate websites. Finally, combining all the information gathered, Manus writes a detailed report and compiles all the resources.
Now, in today's economy, almost every industry will benefit from this. AI is great, but most people, like me, we just don't know the right questions to ask, and there's no need for coding as well. So just imagine asking a general question and getting the answer. It's mind-blowing and can really destroy a bunch of redundant work. It truly increases productivity, and at the very least, it's much more effective than Doge. And as we can all expect, the mainstream media, they're losing their minds. The Chinese shock is just too much for them to handle again. The AI agent for the rest of us is made in China. Now, this breakthrough really comes from the consumer front. It's an easy-to-use solution that a non-tech nerd like myself can use. I asked Manus to build me a personal website, and within roughly 30 minutes, it fully deployed a temporary URL with a simple design and everything I had asked for. Without the agent, I would have to either hire a coder, pay a software service, or spend days building the site myself. And that's how crazy Manus is. The real power lies in fully automating complex tasks at a fraction of the cost without hiring anyone new. Now, we've heard 1,000 times that China has a population crunch, poor demographics that's working against their economy. While that might be happening and true, it doesn't mean Chinese productivity will collapse. Inventions like Manus AI shows us how China is bridging the gap to speed past the US. Now, the US is still trying to build something perfect. They're hell-bent on developing the biggest and baddest AI to win a Nobel Prize. They want to reach artificial general intelligence, and that's when AI can surpass human intelligence. But China is making practical solutions to solve real-world problems. China's concentrating hard in developing AI solutions like DeepSeek and Manus AI. DeepSeek is generative AI, while Manus is your AI robo-agent. Now that they have built these solutions, integrators in Chinese companies can piggyback on those to develop their very own products. For example, BYD's self-driving software, God's Eye, is powered by DeepSeek's AI tech, but the US is still stuck trying to build the best semiconductors and hyperscaling data centers. They're still blowing hundreds of billions trying to create Skynet before really deploying them into real-life solutions. There's also another problem here. US AI companies like OpenAI are actually closed source. The models are all proprietary, which might be great today, but as we have seen, it hurts the overall ecosystem. China's model of open source allows for quick innovation and rapid progress within their own ecosystem, and that's why we suddenly had Manus AI come out of nowhere. As Joe Tsai of Alibaba puts it, The entire AI conversation, especially in the US, has to change. It's not just about raw power, but how useful your model really is.
This AI race, who's better, AI is better. The answer yesterday is going to be different from the answer tomorrow. You have to start to ask yourself, what is the purpose what is the goal of developing AI? Is this to have the smartest child so that they can win every single Nobel Prize? Or is it something different? Like, there's a lot of problems in the world that need to be solved. There's a lot of issues that we need to use AI to apply AI so that it can be useful and productive and make an economic impact. I just think that with open source, with smaller models, you can open it up and a lot of developers and entrepreneurs and smaller companies can contribute toward the development of AI. And I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing for innovation.
And this is what the real conversation has to revolve around. Can we cut down fuel usage in commercial flights by 20%? How about reducing medical errors by 50%? And maybe cut carbon emissions by 30%? And all these are concrete outcomes that can be measured. Here's the problem US companies are facing, especially the ones who are pouring in big sums of money into AI. Is that really the route to go down? Because you are now in a capex war with China, and it's going to be a race to the bottom. US technology firms are expected to ramp up AI spending sprees after the DeepSeek threat. Combined, they are expected to invest more than $500 billion in the next 10 years. This is a 44% increase from the year before and will keep rising until 2032. Once again, it will be spent on data centers and computing resources. The tax sanctions on China, ironically, have become their saving grace. Thanks to the hardware restrictions, China has been investing more into software solutions, which is actually the smarter choice. Software can be scaled indefinitely. The sky is truly the limit here, and you can improve on things exponentially. Like what DeepSeek has proven, you also don't need the latest chips from Nvidia to brute force your way through. Software can provide more elegant solutions. And let's not forget about Moore's law as well. Chip improvements are becoming smaller and much more expensive. There will be a physical limit sooner or later. According to Goldman, AI hardware investments in the US will peak out at 2% of GDP before it declines to less than half a percent. And once we cross the threshold, software will be the main arena of the AI wars. Its importance will double and make up the majority of investments by 2032. It won't be who makes the meanest and the leanest chip. It will be who makes the most effective and helpful AI solution for XYZ industry. By pouring money to developing better software and AI solutions, China is actually leapfrogging ahead. They are tackling the problems of tomorrow today. They are winning the tech race where it truly matters. At the end of the day, AI is about generating revenue to stay sustainable. Throwing a lot into capex spending is crazy if you can't monetize your solutions. China's very realistic in this aspect because they had to be. They don't have the luxury of global investment money. They had to invent DeepSeek using only $6 million, shoestrings, and bubblegum, which means the need to generate money is really urgent here. China is focusing on AI integration driven by market needs. Their AI can be integrated rapidly across industries and is all about enhancing productivity. The US, however, is very different. They are trying to build the matrix and they're engineering the perfect Skynet, but that means a much longer road to really monetize them. US firms today aren't using AI not because it's too lousy, but because it's simply not user friendly enough. They need proper solutions. The biggest hurdle is the lack of knowledge on AI capabilities. In other words, they don't know what AI solutions can accomplish. The next biggest issue is AI not being mature enough. Generative AI just can't execute the task robustly and on its own. And this is where Manus comes into play with their AI agent. China's AI is all about bridging the gap between the lack of knowledge and easy to use solutions. It's a big reason why many private users they're all jumping ship to Chinese models. Manus AI basically allows anyone, virtually anyone, with zero knowledge to use artificial intelligence effectively. It orchestrates everything for you. And that's why it's just sad when you have OpenAI calling for the US government to ban models like DeepSeek coming out of China. And it's not just that particular AI model. Sam Altman wants to target everything. Once again, it's the good old state subsidized and state controlled excuse, which is basically an admission that we can't compete. It's not a good look at all. And this is what happens when you pile tens of billions and just got disrupted. But because you have made a lot of promises to your investors, you simply can't allow the competition to stay. Is it really about protecting data or simply driving out the competition?
I think the best part of this is the fact that Sam Altman was supposed to be doing open source. He made it a closed source company. He stole everybody's data. He got caught red-handed. He's being sued by the New York Times for all that. And now the Chinese have come and open sourced all the stuff he stole, and he's got a real competitor on the original mission of what OpenAI was supposed to do. So I have zero sympathy for him or the team over there. I'm glad that this is all going open source. It should have been open source, and it's better for humanity. And the fact that the Chinese did it to Sam Altman is comeuppance for him stealing everybody else's content. That's my feeling.
Okay, there you have it.
But I don't have strong opinions on it.
But it's very likely Chinese AI will get banned in the United States. It's already being disallowed in many government agencies across the country. There's also a bill being floated to decouple US AI from China. Now, the ban revolves around stopping Chinese innovation. And here's the critical part: prohibit the import from or export to China of AI technology. So the US is going to shut themselves off from any breakthroughs in China and live in their own echo chamber. This is crazy, and it's only going to backfire down the road. If China has a better AI solution, isn't it smarter to adapt them to really drive true outcomes for your own customers? Because if you don't, you'll be throwing money into a black hole while Beijing slowly iterates away. And here's the risk in one chart. Before the DeepSeek or Manus AI surprise, US companies were solely focused on capital expenditures. Companies like Microsoft, Google, Meta, and Amazon, they were all buying high-end GPUs and chips, but very little money was spent on inference, unlike China. The US just isn't focused on the deployment of AI to solve real-world problems. Take Microsoft for example, $40 billion spent on capex, but only $3 billion on inference. They aren't running the AI for their end-use customers, and they are not integrating them enough to their solutions. Now, will this change? We really don't know. But if the ban goes through, the US will be stuck in a time capsule fighting the last war. And if China continues to create more practical breakthroughs after breakthroughs, their AI will start powering the non-Western world. And in the funny part, that allows China to earn even more revenues than US companies that will allow them to sustainably fund their R&D and develop cutting-edge AI. So the Manus solution is an important milestone for China and the world. And if the US goes full protectionist, it just won't end well. But let me know what you think. Will the US start to ban Chinese AI models? And is China's strategy better than the US? Stay safe, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe as we navigate through these crazy times.